We've got ignition, 3. We've got smoke, 2. 1. We've got RIP takeoff. We've got RIP takeoff. Welcome to another edition of Mouthpiece Included. Please like, share, subscribe. We got some great content lined up for you on This Ain't That Network today. Always live and live in color. Today's topic is, what do melanated owners really own? Plus, hot weekly political topics. There's an internet rumor that Cupcake the Rant is dating or a penal colony, Brittany Griner. We've got a lot of stuff like that we're going to unpack. As always, like, share, subscribe. You can get them in the building. Like, share, subscribe. Get them in the building. So, you know what? We'll skip past that. All right. So we're going to talk politics today, which is a fusion of sports and politics. A lot of people don't like mixing their chocolate with their peanut butter. As I mentioned, our topic is, what do melanated owners own? You know? So we're going to dive into the challenges that people of color suffer or experience in their attempts to own professional sports teams. These owners have overcome various obstacles and achieved remarkable success in their respective fields. They've also contributed to the social and economic growth of their communities and supported causes such as racial justice, education, health, and environmental sustainability. Are they role models for aspiring entrepreneurs and sports fans alike? But we're here to ask today, what do they own? Is this just a surface area panacea, or is this true progress? Is this the overplay for the underlay? We'll also discuss, many of the challenges that they face in a predominantly white industry and how they are using their platforms to create positive change. We're going to give our take on our weekly hot topics, and I'm not sure if my co-host has picked a booger for you. We got good news as far as I'm concerned. I didn't come across any boogers. So stand back, stand by, pull up, stand back, or stand down. But if you do pull up, don't forget to bring your mouthpiece. Yeah. That's right. When they gonna start stealing people's teeth out their mouth, we like to steal gold chains. Hey, for some of you rappers out there, you want to impress me? Anybody can snatch a chain, get their teeth out their mouth, and then put them in your mouth. I would be impressed. But enough of my nonsense. Let's go ahead and get the resident co-host in the building. Big Ace up in your face.
Mouthpiece included. TATN.
Jackie Robinson's finest.
TATN.
Shout down, what down, shout down, bear down. What's good, folks?
What down, fool? Heading in the training camp, baby. Baseball is over for the kids.
You kidding me?
Baseball's over for the South side. But we'll get into your team in a little while. But what's going down? Mr. Picnic lad yesterday had a maneuver around a bunch of other stuff. But I'll get with those fellas next year.
I know y'all got to pack in y'all summers, boy. And boy, summertime shy. Whew.
My goodness. You can get I forgot about your pee party, but I was out north. I didn't get back south till about 2 a.m. So, we got to pack it in. Because you get to a point where every weekend you got 5 things to do on a Saturday, and you got to figure out what you can make it to and what's a priority, who's going to be mad, and how to keep yourself happy. So, that's summertime shy. You got to stay safe. You got to have fun. You got to have fun. You got to have fun. That's life in the Chi. But we had, well, like the rest of the country, we had a heat wave this week. Man, it was hot,
Heat wave, huh?
smoking,
Hey,
100
we
degrees
actually
every
had
day.
some humidity yesterday. I had to cut the AC on.
Yeah. It's been on since June for me. But yeah, it was smoking this week, man. 90 heat index of 110 on Thursday, and whether we get in August, maybe for a couple days, but they hit us in July, man. It's been hot, but we cool now. I think it's gonna be 81 today, so you go down
That's
to
what's
the water. You go down the water and chill. Me and my better half are going, I guess, to see some water today. So,
That'd be nice.
Yeah. Food truck festivals. So, get outside in the Chi, baby, while it's not raining. It's not 125 degrees, because the weather's gonna change tomorrow. It's gonna drop down to 40, and then the next day it's gonna be 175. So y'all know how it is in the Chi.
That's the Chi, boy. That is
what's going
Chi.
down.
Absolutely. All right. So let's go ahead and jump into it, bro. Well, you mentioned the Sox and the Cubs. I was chilling with one of my brothers yesterday, and he was telling me about the Cubs catching fire. I'm like, man, yeah, but it just happens to me. As a Cubs fan, as soon as you get involved and you start thinking you care, they'll let you down, go on a losing streak. I'm like, it's already happened to me this season. But apparently, they're 9-1 over their last 10. We're above 500 at home in Wrigley, 27-26. These guys are 53-51, 3.5 games out of first, right smack dab in third place, where you heard it right here from me. Preseason, we'd be flirting around second, third place in the division.
Yeah. I mean, they got to go ahead and get on the phones and get the deal done for your guy in LA. Get him in the Chi, and
you're talking about the Asian Babe Ruth.
Yeah, the Asian Babe Ruth. Get him on to the north side of Chicago and get that deal done. They got plenty of damn money. What's the problem,
man?
And you don't have to give up a lot of prospects, because you got to pay this guy. So they can't want a lot in return.
They can't give up the prospects. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it don't even damn matter. Give it up and get this guy and get him signed.
Yeah.
And put yourself in position to win for the next 10 years. Yeah.
Yes. And you can get other prospects. You can retool your farm team. I'd give up that kid from Jackie Robinson West that's up in the system.
Ed Howard, the shortstop. Why you gotta give up the black?
His mama, his grandmama, Ace, the co-host. I'm putting them all in the package. You know what I'm saying? Shit.
I'll go out there to the LA Angels system and
man,
and tout Mike Trout's accolades until he retires. Yeah.
Hey, listen, I tell Howard, I love you. You represented it. This is all fun, but this guy's doing to the major leagues what Deuce is doing to Jackie Robinson to the Chicago area. You know what I mean? He's on both sides of the ball. Shining.
Mm-hmm. Hey, you got to make the deal. Somebody's got to get on the phone. I mean, I don't know. Everybody's got a phone in their pocket, in their hand, in the office.
Maybe they can't speak Asian.
I mean, nobody in the Angels organization speaks Asian. Yeah, they just got to come with they just got to get on the phone or on the teleprompter or the Skype or Zoom or whatever the hell is going to take to get that guy. Because what are they going to do? They're going to just let him walk?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, they don't really roll like that. Like you said, it should be a lot more. And I said this years ago when they hadn't re-signed him. Yeah, last year we were talking about it. Like, man, get on the airplane, fly to Anaheim, and say, look, here's my checkbook. You know what I'm saying? We'll give you a percentage of Wrigley. I don't know if we're still on that Spearmint Gum Company and all that, but we'll give you a percentage of all this shit. Give us the Asian Babe Ruth. We're going to put a Chinese restaurant up in Wrigley, and we're going to call it, this isn't racist, people. We're going to call it O'Shanti's, the Asian Babe Ruth. You know what I mean? We're gonna up in Wrigleyville. He's gonna have a restaurant where he stands there like Benny fucking Hanna. He's gonna be like Benny Hanna. He's actually gonna be there after the game today. So Tiny's gonna be, cooking on a wok,
chopping up the steaks and the eggs and the
absolutely
shooting fire
right there at your table. Yeah, that's right. Listen, man.
That's a good out of towner type of attraction.
Bro, he could have a rooftop restaurant. I mean, come on, if Michael Jordan could have a restaurant, Shotani Otani could have one too. You know what I mean?
I don't know what the problem is in making a deal. I guess everybody's scared of paying money, but you got to pay it to some damn body.
We're going to talk about that. No, they're always scared of paying some sort of melanateds.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Trout got his money.
Yeah.
Just like, all the stuff Lamar Jackson had to do to get his money. But then, we got this quarterback from San Diego, which we'll get into, got his money.
Wasn't anything.
Man, these people got the money, man. They just don't have the money. It's just like at any everyday job. When you sit your black ass down and say, hey, look, I've been working here X amount of time. I'm rated higher than anyone in here. And
I'm smart.
Hired me below pay. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I just want my money. I want to do the job and I want to go home. That's all.
But the company's broke. We're having trouble staying afloat. We just
we don't know what we're going to do for the next year. We pay you all this money. What are we going to do with the rest of the guys?
Yeah. I tell you what, just go back out there and get back to work. We'll talk about it later.
We'll talk about it when your contract's really up.
All right, but go Cubs. We're not going to waste time on the White Sox. We're not going to waste any time on it. Today's topic is, what do melanated owners own? Plus, as we're going through these hot weekly political topics, pull up. The link is pinned in the chat, or you can call in 424-900-6945. If you do pull up, stand by, stand back, stand down, and don't forget to bring your mouthpiece.
I don't know. Before we leave your Cubs, I don't know if you saw this catch the other night.
No.
But they were playing the Cardinals. It's 3-2, bottom of the ninth. And I forget what Cardinal or what Cub caught the ball. This dude hit a damn home run for the Cardinals.
It would have been a walk-off.
It would have been a walk-off, and the guy jumped over the fence and caught it and brought it back, and the game was over. Cubs win.
And see, let me tell you something. That's what's wrong with SportsCenter. Yesterday's SportsCenter, I'm sure that maybe they covered it. I don't know. But you remember we used to have our top 10 plays.
Yeah.
Cared about it. You know what I'm saying? And you knew what was going on. There's no reason I should not know that.
Oh, man, it was a hell of a catch. I'm gonna send it to you. But
was it the right fielder, center fielder?
Center field.
Wow.
His glove, he jumped over the fence. His glove was laying in the grass with the ball in the glove. He pulled that back over the fence. Game over.
Did he throw the ball out there to the fans so they can throw it back out there?
No, he just let out his scream of exultation of, wow, I just won the damn game for my team.
I bet all the chicks was mad because the chicks dig the long ball. They would have wanted him to not catch it.
Yeah, it was in St. Louis. We don't get that. But
chicks don't dig. Chicks don't dig the game-saving catches. You know?
I did. It was an amazing catch, and they showed, they kept showing it. I had the sound down, watching the news, doing something, whatever. But once I turned the sound up and saw it was the game-winning catch, man, that was a hell of a play. That was probably one of the best plays for the Cubs this year. And
if your center fielder ain't throwing leather like that, he better be getting you 40 home runs and pitching Cy Young baseball out there. Yeah.
Well, center field, they're getting 30 home runs and 200 strikeouts now. That's all they're concerned about. Not concerned about speed and skill and talent.
Man.
So I can go out there and hit 30 home runs. If that's all I'm looking for is a fastball down the middle to knock out the park, and I can strike out 200 damn times. Come on.
Well, we should start a league called Designated Baseball. Everybody's a DH. Hear me out. You remember how you used to play strike them out and you had imaginary people and imaginary on first, imaginary. Yeah. That's what the chicks dig. You know what I mean? Yeah, designated baseball. Get Ice Cube involved.
So it's either got to be a league or wait a minute. giving up too much information.
Too much free
TNT.
information.
We'll talk about this later.
Yes. Yes, designated baseball. You'd have designated pitchers and stuff too, Ace, but that's it.
Yeah.
Have a manager in there, imaginary man on first and third,
it used to be the local drunk out there, like, man, that boy can pitch, man. That boy can hit that ball. That boy, I knew you was gonna be good.
And you can even get the Melanateds out there, Ace, and had them be designated runners, because we didn't have that when we was playing strike 'em out. We didn't have all that. If we had all that, we'd actually play baseball. But I'm just saying, get some designated runners. I mean, I'd bring some track stars in to do the running with the NILs. You know what I mean? Jamaican track stars. Yeah.
You're still giving out too much information. We gotta write this down.
Designated baseball.
Get the app down.
We'll get
the league started.
Yeah. Designated baseball. All right, let's move on, bro. How about them Bulls NBA beat? That's our next segment, you guys. So Jaylen Brown, who I came out and ate crow behind, stand out small forward / shooting guard. I don't know what the hell position he plays for the Boston Celtics. The guy who I literally texted you and my brother during the finals and during the playoffs and said, asked the question, America, is he point shaving? Okay. I had to take him off of my top 5 team during you remember all of that. And I came out on 8 crow.
Yeah.
This guy, Ace, hasn't won a thing. I don't even think he won at AAU or Biddy basketball.
You got a trophy, participation trophy.
Yeah. Oh, yes, that's right. You're right. He's got a whole garage full of participation trophies. Hey, happy he got his money, but this guy got a super max 5-year NBA record, $304 million, richest in NBA history. However, he doesn't have the no trade clause. I tell you one thing: if I do sign a son of a bitch that kind of money, you're not getting a no trade clause. You son of a bitch.
Well, shit, I don't need it. Damn it, somebody gonna pay me $304 million. I don't give a damn if it's
what you say? You say guaranteed, huh?
Saskatchewan Bull Riders or something. Shit. As long as the check is gonna come, I don't give a damn who I'm playing for. $304 million, no trade. Who gives a damn who I'm playing for? We haven't won here anyway. Maybe I can go somewhere else and win. But
Ace, compare him to a player in our past. That shit was happening though when Jordan and Pitt played, man.
Shit.
Yeah. What's a comp from the late 80s, 90s era for him?
I have to go to football. What's the guy at Minnesota quarterback, Kirk Cousins? He's a close comparison, but in basketball, let me think. Shit, man, motherfucker got paid. That did absolutely nothing.
Well, you can't say he does nothing, but he's a regular season player. He had a good finals last year.
I definitely can't say that. He's in a great position. This is what the league wanted. They wanted to control the salaries, but they're not controlling them in a way that's beneficial to them.
That's on the teams, though, man. Because now you got to pay Jason Tatum coming up, which means that's why he didn't get a no trade clause. Because look, y'all got a year or 2 to get this done, but your ass out of here, Jaylen Brown. Right.
Hopefully you keep playing well and stay healthy. You got to go.
Right. Exactly. Because it really, bro, that money. We should say that back in the day, the best players should be getting that money. But for some reason, Ace, it don't really be working out that way, really, in any sport where the best players getting the most money.
Yeah, I mean, it was only the last 2 years for money. Was it last 2 or 3? Where he got paid.
Correct.
But it was still peanuts compared to what they should have been paying him.
Correct.
For his last years in the NBA. But damn, $304 million for 5 years.
For this guy.
Yeah.
I mean, you saw I had to eat crow. I was like,
Yeah.
this guy's a bum.
Well, yeah, I mean, you got to, but it's hard because anybody that gets, these contracts where they're making 30, 40, $50 million, I always got to harken back to Michael Jeffrey Jordan. Like, you owe him a percentage of your contract for even having the ability to get a stupid contract like that where you're making $300 million over 5 years.
Well, it's an easy fix that we said it before. The NBA could charge 3% of this money for the previous player clause to make sure that some money goes into a pot. To your point, they have money, they have points vested into the league based upon how long they played or number of minutes. I do it by number of minutes. But you're right. So 3% of this, he'd be throwing about 9 million, 10 million into the pot for the older guys who just didn't get that money and who might be on hard times and stuff like that. They could do that. Or they can give the money to the WNBA. And speaking of which,
I mean,
go ahead.
It's got to be a way for them to write it off because they're paying a boatload of taxes for this money anyway. So, if you got half of your money going to taxes every year, there's got to be a way where you can write off some of this money to go to, like you said, a fund for former players or subsidizing the WNBA for a percentage of ownership or, or something. And I'm sure it wouldn't be hard to figure it out or put the plan together to make either one of these happen. The plan to subsidize former players you can put that into a 501c3, a nonprofit type entity. And then even, your ownership shares in the WNBA or percentage of ownership that you're buying in the WNBA, I'm sure they can figure out something where they can decrease their tax obligation to Uncle Sam by, just putting that money into the league. So
yeah, absolutely. All right, bro. So look, here's speaking of the WNBA, now this is just internet rumor. So we're just going to do a thought experiment. No, this has been verified. This isn't something TATN is breaking, but there's an alleged rumor that Cupcake Kevin Durant is allegedly dating Brittany Penal Colony Griner. She's and Brittany's married, so this would be really on the DL.
So she's married and
it's like a double DL.
Yeah.
My question is, and what America wants to know is, who would be the top if this is going on? I don't know. Maybe we can't. We probably shouldn't talk about this.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah. Kids are listening.
Yeah. But I mean, if this rumor is true, what does this mean for basketball? What does this mean for business?
Well, it's their personal life. It shouldn't mean much toward basketball, but you're telling me that this man and this man, did I say that? These
more
players,
than meets the eyes. Transformers. Milz in disguise. Transformer.
Now, who started? We never know who starts these type of rumors and type of mentioning, but
they were seen somewhere, and he kissed Cupcake Durant. He kissed Cupcake Durant on the cheek. You know what I mean? You know the way you might do a female friend of yours that just got out of the penal system, and you just welcome back. Yeah. Nah. So I'm back, baby.
Well, so a couple of some months in a Russian prison may change your mind about some things. So
he probably was giving the electric shock because they had a sewing and stuff. You gonna sit down and do some crocheting and things your mother probably never taught you. But go ahead.
Now, if you were the he in your marriage, you would think he'd be the he and some sort of other what do they call it? What it Will and Jada a situationship? Yeah. So man,
Oh, look at that. We started talking about transitions and we got somebody pulling up. Look at that. I tell you what, they kids, boy, sign them up, right? If they produce offspring, I mean, we can do it. We can get a surrogate and get a test tube, and man, Kevin Durant and Brittany Griner's baby.
Right. You got a 6'12", 7'7", jump shooting, defensive playing.
I guess you'd have this new rookie. What's his name from France?
Wham,
you'd have the next Wemby Bama. Yeah, you'd have the next Wemby Bama.
Yeah. What up? Oh, we got another Silverback in the room. What up, Ty? Yeah,
I'm trying to ask him. Yeah, let me ask. There you go. I just asked him to unmute. Yeah, we started talking about transponders, and this guy pulls right up. What up, Ty?
Oh yeah. And to go back to Jaylen Brown, his game is just like Rolando Blackness. But back in the 90s for Dallas, bro.
I can see that. Yes. You know
what I'm saying?
Great comparison.
Yeah, he got all around game with a little bit more hops than Rolando Blackman do. I think he deserved the money. He deserved the money, man.
Hey, I'm not knocking no brother getting his bag. You know what I'm saying? But now ask yourself this: if I'm writing the check though, I'm not paying it. I'm telling you, him. I'm saying, look, you do deserve the money, and you go out there and you get that money. If but you don't deserve the money from me. It's like if I see a bum on the street, and God bless everybody's down on their times, and like, man, give me $20. Look, you deserve the $20, but you don't necessarily deserve it from me. That's all I'm saying.
But see, another thing they know about him too, he's a giver too.
You talking about Kevin Durant, or you talking about
Jaylen Brown? Jaylen Brown is a giver. Okay. Doing Black Lives Matter. That man got right up out his bed in the middle of the night and drove right to Minnesota, bro.
Man, that has nothing to do with him point shaving. That has nothing to do with him point shaving during the NBA.
That's disrespectful.
I mean, that's a good point.
That is disrespectful.
He not point shaving, bro. I'm gonna tell you, I watch the man play a lot, and when he gets into his zone, sometimes he don't know how to. Sometimes he just forgets that he has teammates because he'll put his head down like he the only one on the court.
Yeah,
like he weigh like 230 pounds,
trying to split double teams, and they taking his rock. That's what I'm saying.
He got his awareness. He has to have a little bit more awareness. That's about it.
He ain't processing, and you're not getting that kind of top money.
Right. You know you can score, but to be a great player, you make your team better.
Well, he did lose his head coach.
Boston really does have a good team.
Well, he did lose. He did lose his head coach. That's true. He lost his head coach. They said because they said the head cocoach he had, he's keep all them more focused and disciplined, and they want to pull their ass out the game. You don't.
The head coach really. I don't even want to really talk about that situation as far as domestic disputes going in there. Because I feel like it should be a two-sided law. I feel like Minnesota shouldn't be the only state to make sure both parties get locked up when something go on, so they get down to the nitty-gritty, of what really went on. So I'm just gonna leave the domestic stuff where it need to be, in Congress.
Let's move forward a little bit. I can't remember this guy's name, but he used to play for Mike D'Antoni, and how poetic is that? Because I'm calling him Mike Antoni, because he never gave an F about D, right? I used to call him Mike Dumb Tony, so I let him keep his D. But that D apostrophe, it's poetic justice that this guy doesn't actually preach. Listen, it's worse than we thought. Listen to this former NBA player. I hope y'all can hear it.
D'Antoni ever was in New York? Yeah, New York. Okay. What was your experience with Mike? Because I've heard very mixed things, mostly very negative things about Mike.
I just felt like we could have been a better team if we attempted to play defense. We literally never did anything for defense, nothing, never practiced a rotation, nothing. How do you expect us to win if we can't defend? me and Larry went to him before practice one day and was like, yo, coach, listen, we understand like defense isn't a priority. We're all willing to come in 30 minutes before practice.
To work on defense.
Bro, we want to fucking win, bro.
You're in New York.
We're in New York, bro. And he like got all emotional and upset and offensive and like, you think it's defense? This is how he talk. You think it's defense? We're like, yes, we can't defend nobody. We don't know rotations. We don't communicate. Yes. And he got all pissed off. And, you know, that just really frustrated me. And it just made me not like him as much as a coach.
You played for Mike D'Antoni.
Come on, y'all. What's y'all take on that? I hope y'all heard it. But these guys, they didn't work on defense. They literally did not work on rotations. They did not discuss any defense. I'm going to start with Ace, and then I'm going to throw it to you, Ty.
Shout out, that was Al Harrington. Al Harrington, formerly of the NBA, current owner of Viola brand of marijuana, hemp-based products. But
are you saying he was high when he was saying that?
No. He started his brand to help his grandmother deal with different ailments as a senior. And she had never indulged in any type of marijuana product, but it helped her with
the cataracts. All right, big ups. So you're saying, what are you saying about D'Antoni?
I mean, you know, that was a common knowledge that his teams played no defense, but the fact to go out there that you have no interest at all in playing defense and rotations and being able to stop the ball, I can't see why he's not a.
That's literally like you coaching Jackie Robinson, Ace, and you saying we're going to win on offense. I understand if that's your philosophy, but you're not teaching these kids anything about cutoffs, where to throw the ball to, nothing defensively. Like, how can you have it? I know he's drop dead gorgeous, but how can you even have a job? This is an offensive coach. He shouldn't be a head coach if that's what he's talking about.
But it was a prelude to the current NBA. So, you know, he should be a top coach right now where you're not preaching any type of damn defense and you just want your team to go out there and score 200 points a game. So, you know, I can see where he was coming from. He's ahead of his time that we're going to this European game.
Well, that's well said. I'm going to throw it to you now, Ty, because here's my point on this, though, Ace. If you're going to be all in and committed like that, then don't have players like Harrington on your team who care about defense. If you just get a bunch of Kevin Durant types who, you know, the guys who all they want to do is play offense, it wouldn't be one guy on my roster who cares about rotations and defense if that's my philosophy. I just give me all the best scores you can find, throw them in there. But go ahead, Ty. What's your take on that, Mike?
You know, he had D'Antoni. He had. I'm gonna put it this way. Me playing ball myself. The man got in the playoffs every year.
Oh, shit.
Probably made it to numerous. Listen, it's my turn to talk, right?
Playoffs? Are you kidding me? Go ahead, bro.
Listen,
go ahead.
Made it to numerous Western Conference championship. Let me tell you guys something. You cannot get those type of games in the playoffs without playing no type of defense. You just
heard what the guy said. He played for him.
I don't know what he said. He probably didn't have his way with the coach. You know, he come up in the era NBA was starting to get spoiled where the guys are starting to slander coaches and everything. You know, that's why he's not in the league no way. He's not one of the 50 greatest, and he has a marijuana plant. What side are you on?
Well, I mean, D'Antoni isn't one of the top 10 coaches. I hear you. You know, you come on here talking about he got to the Western Conference Finals.
You can't take a team to the playoffs and don't play defense.
Yes, you can. He proved it. And they're doing it today. You can get to the Western Conference Finals and the playoffs and not playing D. But you cannot win a championship.
And you cannot win a championship. Exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say. But you cannot win a championship.
If you got studs, you can do anything.
Yeah.
You got Grant Hill running around.
Well, there's been a lot of coaches that have been blessed. There's been a lot of coaches been blessed with nothing but studs.
Yeah.
But basketball is 50% defense.
They couldn't even win the big game.
Basketball is 50% defense, y'all. So there's no way you can't put any emphasis on it. Come on, bro. I've been on shit pickup teams, and we worked on defense. I mean, playing in leagues, and we spent some time talking about.
I'm not saying that what Al Harrington didn't say is true. All I'm saying is you have to play some type of defense to have the records that man.
Well, they played D.
And when he first came up, come on now.
Well, they played D.
When he was the coach for the Suns, you had to play some type of defense.
But they didn't practice it.
I think he was just taking the defense to the next level to get to a championship.
Studs know what to do. It's not hard. You don't have to teach studs defense, but all the time.
Yes, you do. If that's the case, you don't. If that's the case, you don't have to teach them offense. If you got offensive players who can get their shot off, then you don't have to spend 98% of your time coaching offensive players. What are you doing?
It depends on what you're working with as a coach. Also, most coaches become masterminds because they know what they are dealing with on that bench, and and do more studying.
Michael Jordan would have knocked the shit out of D'Antoni. He'd have been unconscious in the locker room. Michael Jordan would have knocked him out, took his pants and underwear. Listen to me. Michael Jordan would have knocked him out, took his pants and underwear off, and spin in his bum. Go ahead. What were you saying?
That's true. But there's no way him and Mike would have. They didn't pair them up. That wouldn't happen.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That would never happen. No way.
I think Harrington was just speaking on making the defense better. Exactly. Of course, they practice probably defense, but
AC said we want to come in 30 minutes earlier. To work on defense. Defense is the problem.
But a lot of guys in the NBA nowadays, they practice without coaches anyway. They stay, they come early. You don't need a coach there for you guys to get there a little bit early and run better defense.
But that's what he brought up to the coach. I hear you.
The
coach didn't say, "All right, I support that." The coach said, "You think defense is our problem? You think defense is why we're not getting to the next level?" And it's no way he'd be running my organization, bro.
But see, the modern league, the guys just do it and the coaches fall in.
Right. Yeah, because everybody signed with Clutch.
Eras of basketball.
Because everybody signed with Clutch.
Right. Superstars have a lot of say so and
they got a lot of pull.
From their teammates. So if I'm Curry and I say, man, the last 10 games, our defense sucks. I want everybody here an hour early. We need to work on our footwork.
Hey,
Coach come in. Wow, you guys been here a whole hour early. Wow. Next thing you know, the coach is there a whole hour and a half early now.
All right. Well,
he's not even going to disturb them. He's just going to see what they're doing on their own. That's the reason for having championship caliber players and studs on your team.
All right, let's push forward. Let's get to the National Football League. I want to talk about now. Y'all remember when when what's his name? Lamar Jackson. I call that nigga Jamar. Lamar Jackson, had to get his mom involved in the contract. And Ace, you heard me say it on this show. I said when it come time to pay those non-melanateds, when it come time to pay them their money, it ain't gonna be no big fanfare. And, ain't nobody gonna be nitpicking and checking through his life history. And so anyway, Justin Herbert, and the Chargers agreed to a 5-year, $262.5 million extension. Now it's not real heavy on the guaranteed money, but I find it interesting. And I want to hear you guys' take, and I'll start with you, Ty. I find it interesting that this guy can get his money. And the same thing is going to be with the Cincinnati coach. There's no question about we can't afford this and that. But what's your take on this guy getting his money, Justin Herbert? I know you play PS5, Ty.
Well, you know what, Justin Herbert, I'm a little fan now, but Justin Herbert, the Chargers, you got to look at organizations too. The Chargers organization.
Yeah, they had that dumb black coach.
Dumb white coach too.
Disrespect. But
I'm just saying, I thought you were about to go there, but go ahead.
Nah. With the Chargers organization, as far as quarterbacks go throughout their history, they put a lot into their quarterbacks. The only quarterback they did put a lot into was Drew Brees, because I feel Drew Brees is a little homesick from being out the Midwest. But otherwise than that, Chargers put a lot into their quarterbacks. They don't go surfing for quarterbacks often like a lot of teams.
They did invest a lot of money into what's his name, Phillip Rivers. To your point,
yeah, Phillip Rivers gave him years. They gave him some years,
and he ain't never won nothing.
Throwing the ball, but like I say, it's just certain organizations when they grab you, when they see that they have something in the quarterback. Speaking about San Diego, the Los Angeles Chargers now, but just speaking about the Chargers organization, as far as quarterbacks, you can look through their history and
so no decade. Problem. No national pundits discussing what has he done, discussing his playoff record. Ace, I'm gonna throw it to you. What's your take on this breaking news from Adam
It's
Schefter?
kind of hard. You don't want to. They have hope that one day, even though they're in the same division as Patrick Mahomes, the Chiefs, and outside the coach, past couple of years, I watched their last 4 games against each other, and 3 of those games, the Chargers could have won, but it was bad coaching decisions.
See, I knew he was going there.
It was not bad quarterback decisions. Those bad.
And what color was the coach?
They black and white.
Yes, they wasn't. The head coach was melanated, and he wasn't processing. He was on the clock. He wasn't processing. Correct. Right. Correct. That's what I'm telling you, Ace.
One game where they could have went for 2 for no reason.
All right, hold your take. I'm gonna throw it to Ace. I want to hear how he feels about this. I told you I told you he wasn't processing. Go ahead.
Well,
Ace.
I mean, San Diego, LA. The Chargers switched from a melanated coach to a pink coach, and both of them are pretty bad. They're not good game day coaches or playoff coaches. So it came up with.
Hey, if Adolf Hitler was black, Ace would support Adolf Hitler, Tyrone. He defend melanated. Go ahead, Ace.
Well, I'm just going on the coaching for that point. But this guy, he hasn't won anything. They keep talking about his, his arm and, his pinpoint passing and his drop dead gorgeous looks. But he's not processing them to get to the situation so they can win games.
But that's what I'm saying. They never blame these guys for not processing and winning, but they blamed Jamar Jackson for everything that was going on. And go ahead, Ace. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson is melanated, and his mama is handling his business.
Right.
His baby mama, we don't even know who she is, even though he don't have kids. She probably got some take in this, and his dog died, and
nobody scraped his internet history to see where he was getting his massages before his money was due to come.
Yeah. There's no reason that Baltimore dragged that situation out, knowing that they weren't going to let this guy go to another team. Pay the man and get on with building your team. You gave Roquan Smith, a guy who had been in your organization 8 games, $100 million, but you wanted to drag your quarterback out and not pay him and take it to the point where he was upset.
And Ty, I just brought this up because me and Ace said, watch when it's time to pay this guy and it's time to pay Herbert. It ain't gonna be no problem with money. The NFL is gonna find that money, period, point blank, and they ain't won shit.
And the narrative, the fact that this guy got his money, nobody talked about it. It was just a blurb on Sports Center on the ticker tape. Yeah.
Well, how many MVPs he got? Because Jamar played with a bad coach who can't process offense. His head coach 0. But go ahead, Ty. I want to get your take before we move on.
Well, I'm gonna put it this way: with Justin Herbert, I'm not gonna blame everything on him. This guy throws the ball. Of course, my arm and shoulders and neck could be hurting if I throw the ball 38 times a game.
Yeah.
And I'm running out the pocket. I'm taking hits. My offensive line is not the greatest.
That's true.
I got receivers who keep dropping the ball.
That's true.
And we get in the red zone. Run actually fumble the ball on a 2-yard line.
That's right.
Come on,
you know,
man.
if you look at that team, it's not the quarterback.
Okay.
Come on, man. His running back had the most touchdowns in the NFL last year.
That's disrespectful.
Yeah, but that's because those two. That's because the running. That's because Herbert and
you saying they couldn't load up the box because they had that drop dead gorgeous quarterback.
They practice a lot by themselves.
Bro, you act like people practicing by themselves is new. Professional players have been doing this, bro, forever.
Yeah, but it's something about two guys want to win more than the rest of their team.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Well, yes. I mean, you know, we can go on and on, but I just wanted to bring that up because my main thing on this, guys, was the fact that it was no discussion. All of a sudden, breaking news, he got his money, period, point blank. But maybe it was quiet because his mama wasn't his agent. And everybody just negotiated professionally and stuff. So, but just in time, y'all, the help, you know, the coloreds. Y'all know the NFL is like 75% black. Let me get this. Yeah. So the players vote for your top 100 current NFL players. And just in time, that's right, was ranked higher than drop dead gorgeous Jaguar quarterback Trevor Lawrence, Ace, who was drafted number 1 overall. What's your take on just in time being selected? I'm gonna start with Ace. Because you know he ain't processing, but being selected by his peers ahead of Trevor Lawrence and on this list. Talk to me, Ace. A 3-14 team.
Was this an accurate vote? Did they have the law firm of Weinstein,
Kevin Chairman Horowitz?
Yeah. Accurately make sure the vote was proper, but. Come on, this guy is an up-and-coming star. So is Trevor Lawrence, but Trevor Lawrence doesn't have the tools that a Justin Time has as far as running the ball, passing the ball, and especially the offense that the Bears just rebuilt this year for a team that's looking to go 14-3, as said here on Mouthpiece included.
So to give you an idea, Lamar Jackson is 72, Justin Fields is 86, and that drop dead gorgeous who took his team to the playoffs, Trevor Lawrence is 96. He's 96. Yeah. Go ahead and finish your take, and I'm gonna give it to Tigers. I love to hear what he wants to say about Justin. You know, because he's one of those guys. He wanted to start that. He wanted to start the other guy who can make the. Can't even think of his damn name. Who could make those throws to the corner of the end zone in the preseason? But go ahead.
The guy who's not on the team anymore.
Yes.
But Justin Time, number 1 quarterback for the Bears, will be challenging for the MVP this year.
That's right.
Now he's got a number 1 receiver. He's got a number 2 receiver. He's got a number 3 receiver. He's got 2 damn tight ends. He's got a running back by committee with 3 stud running backs.
And all the news from camp is him and DJ Moore, boy.
Yeah, I've been seeing the film.
It don't take all this practice, and we're working this, and they are practicing. Don't get me wrong.
But
if you playing with a player, Ace, you know, if this guy can play and I can play, it ain't no problem. We can play together, damn it.
That's the same thing I said about Justin Herbert and the back for San Diego.
You can't think of his name.
It's the exact same thing I just said.
It was Incl.
It takes 2.
Eckler.
It takes 2. Yeah.
All right, but all right. We know what you're saying about. We know what you're saying about the drop dead, the other Justin, whatever his name is. But let's talk about Justin Fields. How you feel about him being on that list, rated above Trevor Lawrence? Drop dead gorgeous.
Right.
Well, I don't really pay no attention. I really that's opinionated anyway. I don't really pay too much attention to who's first, who's second, who's third.
It's opinionated, but it's by the players. But go ahead. It's voted on by the players.
It's by the players, but it's not by the people. Just because you play the game don't mean you also know the game. You could be playing it,
and it could be a popularity contest.
That's more paycheck and don't love their job.
Yeah.
So
and they could just like Justin Fields better than they like Justin Lawrence. You know what I'm saying?
I don't believe that.
Right. But Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields' game is pretty much the same if you really look at them.
That sounds like the narrative, but
no. You really pay attention to both of their game. You know, their game is pretty much alike. You know,
how many 60-yard runs has Trevor Lawrence had?
Yeah, and are you saying Trevor Lawrence is having trouble processing?
Trevor Lawrence had a few 30-yarders, and
I said 60 for a touchdown with a guy trying to chase him for 40 yards.
You shouldn't have to run 60 yards to get a touchdown.
If it's available, damn it, I'm getting it.
That's anybody. Sure, defensive tackle can run a 60 yards.
But Trevor Lawrence ain't gonna get there.
Well, he don't have to because this guy's actually was catching the ball last year.
And his guys were actually blocking.
Wasn't catching the ball for Justin Fields. So Justin Fields
and his guys were blocking too.
Yeah. That's it's a difference. It's different. If Trevor Lawrence lived in Chicago, he probably wouldn't be. He'd be on the injured reserve list this season. You know, so I mean.
Well, I thought that was a low ranking for Trevor Lawrence, and I thought it was a low ranking for Lamar Jackson for damn show.
It's pretty much contract. I really don't want to get into that because, in my opinion, it's a low rating for all those guys because this is the future we're talking about here. You know, those guys pushing out. You got San Francisco looking at Brock Purdy. You know, all it's a lot.
Brock Purdy is a Purdy.
Yeah, you got Jared Goff all of a sudden playing good in Detroit. You know, putting points on the board. You know, it's going to be about, I'm going to say the next 3 years outside Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen and Joe Burrow. We need to see who else is just going to be consistent.
Just told you.
On the winning
Justin
side.
Fields.
And see, the NFC is really up for
But
grabs.
I noticed you didn't mention Justin Herbert.
They're trying to say this is the Cowboys because everybody at Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers.
You think Dak Prescott can process? To a Super Bowl. We ain't talking about NFC championships.
No. They can't get out of that damn division.
That can process probably to a Super Bowl, but my thing is I look at all the sports writers and they overlooking the Eagles, bro. Yeah, all the sports writers, they're over everybody. How is nobody really talking about Philadelphia?
Because they got a black quarterback.
Correct.
Philadelphia ran over everybody.
But
Philadelphia ran over Dallas last year, but you putting Dak in front of Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts squats 600 pounds.
That's one of the best Super Bowls I've ever seen. And
that was a great.
They got a black quarterback.
Yeah, that was a good quarterback.
But you shouldn't have to squat 600 pounds as a quarterback in the process.
That's exactly what I was just saying about Justin Fields. Quarterback should
correct.
Have to run.
That's why I brought it up. You're right.
I don't believe he should either. But damn it, he had to last year.
And it can't hurt to squat 600 pounds. It can't make you worse. Right.
He had to. But if Justin Fields would have been on the Jaguars, oh no, he wouldn't have to run the ball like that.
No, he wouldn't.
You know, because it was a better marinated offense.
All right, well, let's move forward. I'm going to start with you, Ty.
We didn't know who we had in Justin Fields Eberflus last year.
We
didn't know what he was going to do.
No, we knew. We sat on this show and tried to tell y'all what we had, and y'all didn't want to listen to us. We knew.
Who was us?
You come on, me and Ace. Don't come on Mouthpiece included talking about we didn't know what we had in Justin Fields, and we've been sitting here for 2-3 years talking about this guy's an MVP.
Run the ball like that last year. Nobody said on this show that he's going to be running for 1,000 yards.
Nobody said an NFL record. Nobody said that, but don't say we didn't know what we had.
My thing is
before last season. I said 2 years from now, Justin Fields, this is before last season, Ace can tell you. I said 2 years from now, he'll be MVP of the league or in MVP conversation.
I wasn't on the show 2 years.
Well, I'm just saying, but let's move forward. I want to start with you, Ty. And I just want to cover this briefly because Kylian Mbappe, the Frenchman, the Saudis offered $1 billion for 1 season for this guy to go play. And the narrative is he's not going to take the money. 1 season, $1 billion. The narrative is, because now he's playing against bums, and as an athlete, you want to play against the best. Ty, are you taking the money should he take the money? $1 billion for one season. $200 million is going to go to the team for the deal, his team. So he'll get $800 million for one season. I told my brother, if I'm Michael Jordan in the prime of the NBA, I would have played in shithole Narragansett for $1 billion in one season. But go ahead, Ty. What's your take on this?
You know, I kind of agree with what you just said, though. Because that only makes sense.
One season.
That it's really nothing to say because that really only makes sense.
Man, you could do it for 2 seasons and have a team. You could buy an NFL team after 2 seasons.
Somebody give me $1 billion. Why would I do that?
Bro, you could buy an NFL team after just playing 2 seasons over there, and then you can come back. You know, you can have that kind of money stacked up. Then you can come back and do whatever you want.
Right. The only thing I'm hoping for is not an injury that can put me down.
Jordan went and swing at baseballs. Jordan swang at baseballs for no money. You think he wouldn't have took $1 billion for 2 seasons to go play baseball in Saudi Arabia?
Yeah, I would have said, come on, now. Who wouldn't do that?
Man, so let's ask Ace. Ace, are you going to play in Saudi Arabia for the $1 billion for one season?
Well, as owner of the team that was going to get the $200 million to allow him to play over there, he wouldn't have a choice because I'd have his family until he got back after the season.
Right.
Of him making $800 million and me getting my $200 million for him playing over there. So you can see your family once you come back after making $800 million and everything will be fine.
And this stuff about I need to play against the best players. I don't need to play against the best players.
Who gives a damn?
Much. Man.
It was what in the golf.
Yes.
The golf industry was saying, like, yeah, we need to play against the best players. We need to keep the PGA Tour pure and pink and all that. And those guys who had some vision went over to Saudi Arabia, took the money, played golf over there. And the PGA, after a while, they was like, well, shit, we want that money too. And they merged with the Live League and those guys who didn't take the money are sitting over here at the PGA like, damn, we should have went over there in the first place. But you know, it's a matter of negotiations. I think it might be borderline racism that you don't want to go to take the Saudi Arabian money to help your family and set your family up for generations because the pink PGA Tour is telling you that, yeah, you need to stay over here and be pure. Otherwise, and
care about your legacy. Now, Ace, now imagine if you're LeBron and Deuce is Bronny, and Saudi Arabia came at you and said, "I'll give you $1 billion and Bronny $1 billion for one season." I mean, come on, you know what I'm saying?
We go.
And if that's their first offer, to Ty's point, it ain't even nothing to talk. If that's their first offer, I'll tell you
first offer.
I want $1 billion after you pay my team.
Right.
Man.
There's nothing. I mean, come on now. I'm gonna bring up like Colin Kaepernick right now. It's almost like Colin Kaepernick. Okay, they whatever. I mean, politically, y'all did something so he could never play football anymore.
You can bring him up on the show. That's what we talk politics.
This man don't have to get hit in the head. He don't have to get hit in the head no more. He don't have to break an arm. He don't have to do none of that. And he still got $19 million in the bank. Come on now, stop. You know what you can do with $19 million to keep your legacy going or build something? Come on now. I mean,
Coach was talking about he was broke. He's worth hundreds of millions of dollars.
You don't come play against the best players in the world just to play against the best players in the world. You come against the best players in the world to prove that you better than them to win a championship.
And there's nothing stopping me from saying, hey, I'm in the prime of my NBA career. I'm going to go over there for one season, get this $1 billion. And the league, when I get back to the NBA, they're going to be so thirsty for me. You know what I'm saying? Man.
Yeah. Right. Because I'm a media storm coming back.
International storm.
Right. Yeah. Think about it. David Robinson, #1 draft pick. Had to serve 2 more years in the Navy before he played basketball.
Let me ask y'all that same question because I know both y'all are Patriots. What if King Jong-il where Rodman went and kicked it with him, and North Korea offered you the $1 billion. Would you go play in North Korea for the $1 billion for one season?
You're damn right. I don't give a damn where it's at.
Right. You see, it's a discussion. It's a discussion for time. Right. You damn right I'll be over there. You know what I'm saying?
I'm going. I'm going, bro. I'm sorry.
Hey.
And look, I'm not gonna cross over to South Korea while I'm there.
No, I'm not. I'm not making no political statements. We're not mixing politics with sports.
I'm going right back to my hotel room after the games. Any entertainment,
no comment.
It'll be in the hotel.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm not going nowhere.
Yeah.
I'm not going nowhere. I'm right here for 2 seasons.
You just gave me an idea. Look, I'm gonna live in South Korea, but I'm gonna come over here on flying my games. You know what I'm saying? Y'all gonna let me fly in for my games in North Korea. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna play my games. I'm gonna fly right back to the allied country, South Korea. You know, and I might work for the CIA. You know, doing a little stuff in between for the extra money and security. You know what I mean?
No, I don't need no extra money for the $1 billion. Nah.
I'm on Google Translator. No comment.
Right. No comment. We don't talk. This is sports. So okay. So clearly everybody would do it. I know there was some chatter in the NBA about it, and it sounds like those guys would do it too. You know what I'm saying? So those Saudis, Killian, this dude is 24 years old, Ace. Now imagine if you had a son who's 24 years old and they sat you down, Ty, and said, Dad, I have an opportunity to play one of the richest countries in the world for $1 billion for 1 year.
Yeah. Because
I'm going.
Do we got to buy the plane ticket, or they gonna take care of that? Because I'm
going.
What time is it?
I'm playing in the Ukraine in the height of a war for.
I'm gonna put the jogging suit on, the hat. Man, I'm going to get my ticket. And I'm leaving.
$1 billion for one season? That's crazy,
man. That just show you how much money they got, bro.
Yeah. I signed the contract. I'm not going home. I'm getting on the plane. I'm going right there, and I got enough money to start over. Hey,
that's why your gas is $4 a gallon. It should be a damn $1.50, but it's $4 a gallon because they can spend $1 billion on this guy coming over and play soccer for one damn season.
Football. So, what's y'all take on?
Well, you know they sell gas wholesale now. They don't sell us oil. It's wholesale. They not raising our prices like that. We raising our own prices here, but we're not gonna talk about that. Go ahead.
I saw a 60-minute special 20 years ago. They said, the price of a barrel of oil would be at $50 a barrel. They can make money for the rest of there's no reason to go over that price. 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the hell it is now, but it's got to be over $100. And the price of gas is over $4 a gallon. And between America and them, everybody's making money, and the American people are suffering on a daily basis trying to load up their 40-gallon tank in their SUV.
Yeah, anyway. That's the thing. They sold us all trucks and big cars, and they inject that gas.
I got a couple of clients. I'm about to talk to y'all next week.
Okay, bro. Man, thanks for hopping in, Ty.
Hey, thanks for coming out, man. Much love.
Same up.
All right, hey, so what's your take on Bronny, man? What's your take on Bronny?
That was a terrible news to hear. I hope whatever happened to him can be caught early and fixed and repaired, and I know they're not going to give a lot of information for HIPAA and his future as an athlete, but hopefully his future as a young man is more important, and he's taken care of physically.
Well, I've thought about it in so many different ways. One, I know this generation, and I'm absolutely not putting this on him, but they be them pills, man. I'm not saying he's doing that. I'm really not saying that, but that popped in my mind. And then, but more importantly, the love of the game. Okay. I absolutely love playing the game of basketball. Like, so you start asking yourself questions at his age, okay, Ace, and you love the game, but at risk of your life. His family, like, he literally doesn't need the money. So this is just a question of, does he need basketball to enjoy life? Him personally, it's a personal decision.
Absolutely not. You shouldn't. When you're in a, and I can't say that for everyone, but he's in a position with his family and his father.
He's set for life. His kids are set. Yeah.
For generations. There's no reason to risk your life to continue playing if it comes down to that.
Now, me as a dad, I would say that exact same thing to my son, but I'm saying, Ace, if he loves the game so much, like, Dad, you know what I mean? And you would understand, like, you know what I'm saying? Because it seems like he really loves the game to get this good and already be rich. Right.
But you got to think about what he's 18, 19 years old.
Yeah, but he don't have no kids.
It's a cardiac arrest, man.
I got a solution. This is what I said, Ace. You've got the money. So I would say then, if you're my son, I would say, well, son, listen, thank God when that happened, if you was just somewhere playing by yourself or playing on the street corner and those guys wasn't around with the EKG or whatever and it's clear, you might not be here. So here's what we're going to do. We got enough money where I can have a guy wherever you hooping and working out. There's going to be a guy who's trained to be able to revitalize you if you get into cardiac arrest. Wherever you are, this is our guy. He'll be your driver. He'll be, your handler. You know what I mean? You want a female? That's cool. You want a female? That's cool too. Right. Maybe we can get Lars Pippen to do it. You know what I mean?
Definitely she'll do it. But I think now that, the situation happened, they, as opposed to saying he's a supreme athlete's son, and his health should be A-OK, they can go in and find out what happened, whether it was a blockage in his arteries or he's got heart murmurs, there's a problem with his heart.
Or pills.
He can continue from here. And they can determine whether him playing in the future is a possibility or it should be eliminated. I understand the love of the game clause and all that, but
and this affects LeBron's status too, because the only reason he's been hanging around is to play with his son, pretty much. So if his son steps away from the game and says, "I just want to be a lawyer and work for Clutch," you know what I'm saying? If he does something like that, LeBron's liable to quit.
Maybe he can hold on for Bryce. You only got 4 more years to wait for Bryce. Bryce to
ruin his legacy waiting on Bryce.
I think at 45 he can come back and still get you 10 points a game and 5 rebounds in this NBA.
Absolutely. One thing I would say is Brownie, get well, man. Yeah, to your point is that
God bless.
I couldn't even bash LeBron for a few days after that. But he, the next day or two, LeBron was out there playing in that summer league he's in every year. So
for what?
That's what I'm saying. This whole thing may make him and his wife really sit down and say, look, LeBron, the sports gods are after you. You played 2 careers, you know what I mean? How much is enough is enough, and that's why maybe if you'd have walked away 5 years ago, your son would have, some time in it.
Yeah. But to sit there and no.
Yeah.
Come on. You're playing in summer leagues after your son has a cardiac arrest. There's no reason to be anywhere except for by his side, when you have the opportunity. An average Joe like me,
I got to go to work, maybe. Right. But I can go back after
I'm
work.
not coming to work.
Right. You're right. Yeah, yeah, you're right. This one, I got some time to use. I'm getting paid, and even if you are going to work, you back. But yes, he was out of town. Like, so that there was some talk on the internet about that. But that's their decision. But it does make you think. Like, at what point does family come before finance? Even if you at home just for his mom's sake, you know what I'm saying? So, right, you're right, Ace. It wasn't like it was an NBA game or anything like that. This was some summer league, bro.
It's not finance. I mean, you know, this finance is set. You know, he doesn't get paid for summer league. Your main concern is your firstborn son and his health at a point where he just had a cardiac arrest, which could have took his life. So
yeah, and they need to be checking out the other two kids,
Bryce, and the girl.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah,
like
because it's probably something coming from the mother's line, the mother's
because he's he's his daddy's
she knew she had it.
Son or whoever.
She knew she had it. She knew she had. That's how a woman is. Yeah, I thought I told you we got everybody in my family got a heart murmur. No, you didn't. You didn't tell me that. I was telling you the whole time I wanted kids and put them in the league. I thought, yeah, my whole family got it. This never came up, huh? You know what I'm saying? But I'm not blaming her. You know. All right, but all right, Ace. What you got on the black owners? The one thing I want to say before we get into the overplay for the underlay of the black owners, the only ones who have truly owned the team, like controlling interests, has been that guy back there, Bob Johnson, the Bobcats, and then, he flipped it over to that other guy there, Michael Jordan. But those are the only ones, major sports, that have ever, of foundationally black descent, we're not talking about the Sox and all of that, to own a professional sports team. So we want to be clear with our audience. Don't let anything else fool you, because we've been doing some research here.
I mean, while I know how the all of the major sport teams put their narrative out there for their sports and quote unquote minority ownership and minority opportunities and minority blah 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 blah. But if you don't have any true owners of these sports franchises, it is the overplay for the underlay. If these guys are owning less than 1% or 2% or 3% or 4%, they can just go to their local day trader with a check and make that happen and call themselves owners. But all of these sports leagues know, except for Michael Jordan, who just sold his major ownership portion to his team for profit.
And they literally did that with Jigga and Diddy. They had me running around talking about, Diddy owns Ciroc. Yeah, Diddy owns Ciroc. I started peeling behind the onions. I think he was less than 5% owner. I'm like, right, stop doing that. Right.
So, you're using all of these melanated celebrities for their celebrity status. And, Diddy owns Ciroc and Jay-Z owns Ace of Spades and blah, blah, blah.
Profiting off the struggle.
Serena owns and Venus owns the Miami Dolphins.
Yes.
And you're throwing these names out there, but they're just pretty much stockholders.
They're over glorified brand builders. What do you call them, people? You know what I mean? That's what they are.
Influencers.
Yeah, influencers. Yeah, we'll give you 5%. Like Ace, if you was I forgot his name, Beast Burger or whatever his name is, he's got like 100 million followers on YouTube. Mr. Beast, every video he runs, Ace, gets like 40, 50, 60, 100 million views. Yes, if you're that person, look, Mr. Beast, I don't have the money to give you everything, but you'll get 5% of TATN if you just go ahead and start telling people you're owner.
And liking Like, share, and subscribe to TATN.
Yeah, and
Right.
tell all the white people you're the owner. This is your channel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're gonna get 10%.
Yeah. 5%. Go ahead.
Okay, 5.
Yeah.
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 5.5.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you're gonna be rich. You're right.
Yeah. Once it blows up. Yeah. I mean, it's and nobody. I don't think anybody's ever questioned these ownership amounts, to my knowledge, at all. Anybody's, well, he's the owner of this, and they're part owner of that, and he's part owner of this, and it just really didn't dawn on me until Magic Johnson came out smiling, talking about he's owner of the Washington Commanders, and I just looked it up and like, what?
And you start doing the math, and you be like, wait a minute, yeah, he can't. And so he's got all this capital. He owns the Dodgers and the Commanders. Like, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
This ain't mathing. So let's see.
Mathing.
So let's see what the percentage is. And now we see 1%, 4% picture taking. So I mean, it's like, do you sit there and say, oh, okay, well, we're at the table, we're part owners, or do you say, yeah, what really is this?
Well, part of the issue, Ace, and exactly to your point. So Forbes says there's 2,668 worldwide billionaires, and only 15 are Black. So that's why you got to start asking, like, exactly, they don't own these teams. You got a Nigerian who's worth 14 billion, but outside of that, Oprah Winfrey, Tyler Perry, Rihanna, Jay-Z, and LeBron James have net worths ranging from $1 billion to $2.7 billion.
And that's
they didn't even mention Magic's name.
Yeah, that's on paper.
Right. He owns 2 sports teams. He's not even listed.
Yeah. And he's the owner of a World Series winning team.
Man.
And I think, I didn't look it up, but I believe he had to give up his ownership in the Lakers, whatever small percentage he had, to coach. And that was never reacquired once he left the organization. So it's, yeah.
I think it's the wealth gap has a lot to do with it. But I would like to see, because we went through all of this. If a Black American owns a team, it's not a major sports team. So that they throw a lot of stuff at us. This guy owns the Charlotte Chilliwackies. You know what I mean? He'll own that outright.
Yeah.
But I think, these billionaires, they should invest, and I don't know how that works with the NBA, but you got to go after those teams you can afford. I'd rather have 100%. I know people say I'd rather have 2% of Apple than 100% of, another company. But at the same time, I think we need to go all in on our own league somewhere. Decide, okay, this is a league. It might be Ice Cube's 3-on-3 league, whatever it is, but this is a league we're going to blow up and spend our money.
The Big Three or Negro leagues coming back.
Yeah.
Or our own hockey league. There's Black hockey players.
The WNBA.
Our own lacrosse league, the WNBA. Yeah. Just wherever you can get in to have some meaningful ownership.
Yeah.
I think Ice Cube, I heard a interview with him where he offered the NBA 10% of the Big Three. And they were so arrogant that they said they didn't even want it. He wanted to give the NBA 10% just to have access
their branding, the NBA's
the branding and rights. Right. And they said they don't even want it.
We want to do y'all like y'all do us. That's what we're offering, the typical deal that you guys like to put in front of us. Right.
And they said we have no interest.
Well, he's not drop dead gorgeous. Ice Cube's not drop.
Absolutely, he's a radical. He's one of those those
Now I bet
ruffles.
you if it was Cardi B and big ups to Cardi B, and she went in there, did bad, and did bad give you 10%. You know
Nah,
what I mean?
we can put this deal together. Let's see when
Black
we
girl
had this
magic.
done. We had this done by this afternoon.
Bad black girl magic. Yeah, so I mean, you're making a good point. Now, there's a lot of melanated people, not a lot of, but there are melanated people with ownership, but they aren't foundationally black owners, you know. So the league would be asking for 2.5 billion, for instance, for the Las Vegas expansion, you know, and if the league cared, they would seriously put together a team of black owners, and
Absolutely.
this is you guys' team.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
And there's owners or people with the capital or availability to put the capital, the credit together to own such a franchise.
Yeah.
And it's an NBA team, so it's going to make money.
And then we can get Clutch Sports a piece, it's one of their subsidiaries, and they can funnel talent to this Las Vegas team, you know. And black people love going to Vegas.
Oh yeah, love going to drop all money. Yeah, I won that first night, and I said I'm gonna put that money away.
I gave it all back.
So you know, even if they want to put Jordan out as a figure, well, he still owns part of the Bobcats. But I don't know. They got to come up with somebody. Maybe Magic. They can throw Magic out there and give him a substantial piece of ownership of the Las Vegas team, as well as a variety of other celebrities or people with the billionaires with the means to sign paperwork that they own this NBA franchise, because none of these people are putting money up. They're just putting up their their credit or their ability to guarantee owning a team. So
So D Wade and Grant Hill own minority stakes in the Utah Jazz and the Atlanta Hawks. So this can't be ownership, and there has to be collusion. You shouldn't be able to own a percentage of two different teams.
Right. So
in the same sport, right?
It's shareholders. They're shareholders.
Correct. To your point. They said also Wade is partnering with the Jazz owner Ryan Smith and a venture capitalist Ryan Sweeney in a deal to buy the Real Salt Lake City Major League Soccer team. But I bet you in that deal, Wade's going to have like 5%. And this is the stuff we're talking about. Right.
Even the deal they gave Jordan when they lured him to Washington and told him he'd be the owner of the Washington hockey team.
He shouldn't even had to play. Yeah, I remember that. Even with they promised him stuff at the Wizards. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It was all fugazi.
But you mentioned Jordan does own the the NASCAR car. Serena Williams joined the Formula One. But she's a minority owner, and this is what.
Come on, we gotta do better. We gotta demand more. If we don't demand more, we're not gonna get it. But we gotta demand. We can't be 4%. I mean, eventually, yes. These investments in these NBA and NFL franchises are going to pay off as the value of these teams increase, but we gotta have more of a stake in it.
Well, Byron Allen, Ace, he put a bid in for the Broncos for $4 billion. He lost the bid. It was swooped in, and this happens a lot when we're going for all of it. Swooped in by Walmart heir Rob Walton, who paid $4.65 billion. So you did have an offer of a predominantly black, team of investors. But I mean, come on, Walmart money. You know what I'm saying? Ace, you finally scraped your money together, and now, Elon Musk is bidding on this car you wanted. You know what I mean?
And I think this was the son-in-law of a Walmart. So how many teams do they own already? There's Yeah, he really had no chance because
we have no chance. We're always going to be outbid. We're always going to be outbid. Yeah.
Yeah. But to come up with a team to do offer $4 billion, and Walmart comes with another $600 million. Yeah. If you've got these Rooney rooms in for coaches,
go ahead with your final words. Go ahead.
If you got these Rooney rooms in for coaches and positions of, I don't even know if they have it in for the president of the team and general manager, but if you got these Rooney rules in where they have to be considered for executive positions and these entities as far as the NFL is concerned, they have to be in place for ownership. How many Black ownership groups are going to come when there's a franchise available?
Well, that's a good idea. As you can say, we can be paid. We can get the team for 80% of the highest bid. So if Walton came at $4.65 million, the predominantly Black team should be able to get it for 80% of that offer. Go ahead.
Right.
Yeah. Yes.
Right. But I think what they did is without also outbidding the group that of Byron Allen, they put Condoleezza Rice on their team, and they put Lucas's wife, Melanie Hobson, on their ownership group. Which
you're talking about on the Walmart ownership group?
Yeah.
And then they ran them out in front of the camera so it can look like
Yeah. Minority owner, women owner, and they got what? 5%, 0.5%, whatever the hell. I couldn't even find a percentage for them. So I mean, come on. It's got to be some rules put in place, which the ownership apparently doesn't want to adhere to. They'll do it for a general manager or president or someone they can fire, but giving someone the position of owning one of their precious franchises, we got to vote on it, we got to approve on it, and if it doesn't happen in our board meeting, our good old boys meeting, it's not going to happen. So I think something needs to be put in place as far as ownership is concerned, where these melanated owners or people of melanation can own and really own a percentage of these major sports franchises across the board. And that's my final word. Yeah, well, something's got to be done, and let's get rid of the fugazi and the overlay, but underlay.
Well, here's what I'm willing to do. And that was well said.
Yeah.
I'm willing to I would approach, say I would go to Dubai and Saudi Arabia, with my Black team. And I would say, look, we need you guys to come in at 49% owners. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Me and Ace's team will have 51% ownership stake. And we need you guys to, regardless of what the final bid is, this is what we're presenting. But it's, but we need to make sure we get the deal done. You know what I'm saying? So if they come at 4.65 million, the Saudis will go ahead and write. I mean, come on, you guys are paying $1 billion for a guy to kick a soccer ball for 1 year. You know what I'm saying? So look, right. So that's all I'm saying.
This is peanuts.
Correct. Keep $2 billion on the side. We got $4 billion we're willing to offer. You guys keep $2 billion.
Right.
To come in there after, somebody tries to outbid us. Now we got 51% ownership, and you got the Saudis behind you. They can build a big, magnificent stadium, and you own 51% of it.
Right. Absolutely. And I think that's why the ownership keeps in their back pocket the final vote.
The good old boy system.
Who can become part of the good old boy club. So we got to do something. Got to demand more. Magic. You can't go out there and smiling in front of these damn pictures and saying you're an owner. You got to demand more. We got to have more. We got to have more ownership in the NFL. We got to have more ownership in Major League Baseball.
Yeah,
you're more ownership.
Stop being a glorified employee where you're just, you know what I mean? You got some, you know how the company sharing the stock and you own 0.001%. You know, that's just for you to come to work and go home. Nobody walks around outside and markets and walks around. That's called a job, you know. We might change the name, but I don't make no decisions. You know, profit sharing. I'm only vested 33%. But yeah, so I feel you, bro.
Yeah.
I feel you. So that's all for today's episode of Mouthpiece Included.
Good stuff.
We truly hope you enjoyed learning more about melanated sports ownership or lack thereof. Today, there are 0 foundationally Black American controlling owners of the professional sports teams, and there have only been 2 in history, Bob Johnson and M. Goat. That's Michael Jeffrey Jordan. If you liked this episode, please subscribe, like, and share on your favorite platforms. If you have any questions, comments, or feedback, feel free to drop a comment below. And if you do, don't forget to bring. All right, so you got something in mind for next week, bro?
Oh man, it's got to be football. I want to talk about baseball with these guys, though. My gosh, the sell-off for the White Sox? No, nobody's interested in that.
Maybe we can get a crosstown deal going.
They're working.
It usually helps us when we win. Yeah, when our cities win, get a crosstown deal going.
They're getting rid of all the pitching and bringing in a bunch of prospects. You know, the prospects.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. But no, I don't have anything in it right now. But coming up in my mind. I'll be ready.
That's cool, fam. That's cool. And y'all, next week, following the show in 30 minutes, we have the Self-Love Show. We have ex-U.S. military drone specialist, Matt Goddard, stepping in the building. This will be TATN first. So definitely not a debate show. You know, it's lessons, not lectures. And we're going to get this man's reality. He served this nation proudly. And big ups to him for that. All right. So if you ever find yourself sliding through the south side of Chicago, it's humid out here. All them brothers on the porch. You might even be on the left coast, South Central. Better check your blind spot. Check your 6. Go ahead.
You ready, man?